Vladimir was wandering down a corridor that to his right had a long window overlooking the fertile rows of golden wheat in a binome tree. He stopped at the window's center, grousing under his breath while a splitting headache hammered the top of his cranium. Every movement felt heavy, like bricks of lead were fastened to him. Sitting down on the floor helped relieve that sensation. Though the radiant metal was hard, seeping into the cold surface onto him. He calmly exhaled the air, gathered in his lungs. Bumped eyelids stretched harshly over his sore eyes as he gazed out into the vast array of farmland encased in the bino. A vineyard sat across rows of orange trees, and besides that bushy dark, lovely bushels of apple trees collectively crammed the lines. Some ponies in white lab coats could be seen, working on short step ladders, reaching up to picking fruit. A loud grumble came from his stomach, enticing him to clamp a hoof over the rolling sharp hunger pains the ground brought. He diverted his focus from the freshly grown fruit to the bright glowing orb of light placed at the top of the dome. Behind the thick glass window the trees were tinted in the warm distance, yet the halo that surrounded it was still plainly visible. The creature's hissing, brittle voice manifested at his left, causing him to cringe at the pain the headache brought. You know, after watching you struggle to merely walk from point A to point B, I'm starting to wonder how you intend on stealing a scent gem. Slinked up to the side of Vladimir's head, shifting his head to one side. Have you put any thought into it, little red? Any at all? Vladimir gulped, replying in a weak, airy tone, a little. Feeling himself back to him, he turned his back to the window, smugly blurring, "Ha! Don't lie to me. I can read your mind, you know." Folding his lanky, translucent forehead, it added, well, not all the time. But recently I've seen enough of your crippling dull mind to know you haven't been thinking of anything since you woke up. Do not ask me at all, Vladimir asked, not bothering to look at the creature. Spinning around to face him, a glowing white smirk befell his thin face. I simply love to make you think you're in control. I think it's adorable when you act tough without me. Leaving a path of a sinking dark mist behind its travel path, it quickly jumped to the side before swirling around him, ending with the bottom of its mouth perched on his shoulder. Seriously, I am curious how you aim to retrieve a gem. From what we observe, to keep them in those huge bundles at the top of the domes. Vladimir grimaced at it. What do you expect me to do then? Fly up there? He shrugged. Eh, I was thinking more along the lines of shooting something at it. A big rocket, perhaps. Then collect one of the bigger chunks that falls down. Clapping his hose, it bounced to the side, comforting in place. Oh, now that sounds like wonderful fun. The pain in Vladimir's head carried down throughout the rest of his head, throbbing, pulsing with a great stabbing pain festering inside him. Bite thief, the force he exerted on his jaw made the tips of his molars crack, creating another kneeling feeling to carry the and season, slowly draining his brain. The creature took a long whiff of the air, then letting it all loose in one drawn-out exhale through its nose. I can feel your will weakening. I'm sure it must be hell for you. I'm more than eager to take control if the need should arise. Down the hallway, the echoing brisk pitter-patter of hooves played. It was a struggle of his own to turn his head to see who was approaching. When his sight did gaze to the distant hall, he spotted Neo. A terrible atmosphere lingered around the white stallion, a fuming temper that couldn't be quenched by him, at least not Vladimir's current condition. At the same time, Neo passed by, snoring while stomping heavily in his stride. He paid no mind to Vladimir, or to the pristine gardens outside the window. Yet, by the direction he strode, it seemed as though he were heading to Bino 3. Having watched Neo eventually wander out of sight, Vladimir's posture began to teeter. As his balance swayed about unevenly, the world was spinning and bobbing in all directions. Leaning himself against the glass, he slid down to his side, keeping the side of his head pressed to the window. The creature stood over him, shaking his head while smuttering, Still thinking about being around those kids will help, hmm? Well, you met Dahlia, and you're still no closer to being rid of me. In fact, a wide malicious grin stretched across his face, piercing both eyes. I say it's doing quite the opposite. Pointing its ankle, it said in a sing-song voice, Tick-tock, little red. I find a way to secure Jim soon. When Vladimir looked up at the beast, it vanished. He was breathing heavily now, weight now anchored to his lungs. Each inhale was a battle of its own, leaving it cascading with the keys as he lay against the window. Time was running thin, both for himself and his mind. But the first pair of words the creature taunted him was with the thing that resonated the most in his ears. He faded a scoff, carrying on the breeze that settled both eardrums. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. Adam wandered the hallways aimlessly, searching for his brother. Frequently he stopped and asked the security guard or loud-colored pony passing him by. But every time he would ask if they'd seen me, they all replied with the same clueless no. Where the heck did he go? Adam started wondering aloud. He could have gotten far. I mean, really, where did he go? A few little chrome beetle robots scuttled along the side of the wall, humming a delicate fizzing sound as they went, and the path they left behind them, a stream of even more superbly polished floor gleamed. One robot strayed from the course and gently bumped Adam's hoof. Backing up, it quickly corrected itself and returned to cleaning the floor. Watching it whiz onward, Adam drooped his nose to the ground, sighing. There are a few doors on the other side of the hallway, not nearly as many as the stable, nor were they persistent across from one another. The fact that neither of the rooms were marked or labeled only made finding them more difficult. For all Adam knew, Neo could have picked some random corridor just as easily chose the door to go in. Directing his attention to the sporadically placed doors on the left, his mind raced, generating a light-headedness infiltrating his brain. Brother, why couldn't you just stay in the room? A yellow mare, adorned in a bright white lab coat, came merrily trotting down the hallway. Adam rose a hoof at her, causing the mare to stop. Excuse me, do you know what part of the complex I'm in? There aren't any labels or signs. It's made navigating this place a real challenge. Split twice and smiled dearly. This is the residential corridor, dear. Adam nodded to her. Thanks. Before she started off, Adam added, Oh, and this is my brother. A little taller than me, black meat, silver eyes. The mare's smile faded as he shook her head slowly. No, I'm sorry. I haven't seen a pony like that wandering around, especially down in this corner. News brought Adam to side once more. Ah, well, thanks for your help anyway. Carrying her away, the mare went on, leaving Adam alone in the hall. In mid-step, he froze. Where he stood, a high-pitched beeping plunked the air. 3/4 steps, then a pause, followed by another set. Gradually lowering his hoof, Al went to the centermost door on the left. There, the sound pinged. Beep, beep, beep. A wave of clanging sweat washed over his entire body. Not a good feeling in the least, but it was a feeling. Perhaps the sounds were a clue to where his brother went. After all, a ping of similar fastening guided Neo to him. He walked to the door, pressed the button on the doorway, passed the threshold leading in. A darkness filled the new space as two vacant beds on both sides of the room were silhouetted in the white light pouring through the doorway. The bedchamber resembled his in each fashion, from the nightstand in the center to the lamp atop it. The only out-of-place item that was a set of saddlebags resting on the right-hand bed. Both bags had their tops slightly open, with the upper flats laying limply over the fastened buckles. Adam lifted a hoof to the edge of his ear, listening. He waited for a few seconds, only to hear nothing but the buzz of the lights in the hallway. Guess it was nothing, Adam thought. Yet another uneventful adventure. Turning his back to the hallway, he was ready to continue his search when out of the corner of his eye, he spotted a dim, shining object glistening under the flap of one saddlebag. Facing the room again, he gingerly walked inside. Cocking his head to one side, Adam approached the bag. Both eyes fixedly locked on the item. Pushing the flap aside, the object was revealed. Tucked tightly inside a pocket was behind the floor of various linens and traveling supplies. The corner of a thin metal rectangle shone. Lifting a hoof to the device, Adam hesitated. Was it right to look into another pony's things? Should he continue to investigate? Adam gently touched the corner of the metal item, pulling it out of his snug confinement. Laying beside the bags, he glanced at the devices entirely. A few red buttons in the middle made up most of the machine's flat surface, along with a flashy yellow light dimly flickering in the right corner. Adam's eyes grew wide as he took a few steps back. His heartbeat skipped while he recalled what the object was. In the stable, where he had worked with pit-bug attachments, tracking devices were implemented into the pit-bugs of criminals in the stable. But how the StableTech brand tracker managed to secretly be placed on the far reaches of the bag was unknown. To whom the tracking device belonged to was another mystery. A million terrible thoughts pervaded Adam's mind as his heart rose to a furious degree. Who does it belong to? Adam pondered aloud. Does it belong to a coalition soldier? Adam took note of the sturdy leather straps. Ones were more associated with those wearing armor, like Lester. The only other pony who matched the criteria was Ranger. Since he was the only one who hadn't followed the others to their rooms, the assumption could be solid. Laying the device on bed, Adam shook his head, removing himself from the thoughts. He would have to worry about it later. He still needed to find Neo, pushing the flat back over the bag. Adam walked out of the room and shut the door. His search would have to continue, but a new task of finding the owner took second place over his brother. A rotunda had been carved in the rock above that. A wide room around encircled the area, a bulky iron table at the center. Upon the dull tabletop, a lazy pony sat hunched over papers, strung about, reading the numbers and gray charts pointed at them. Along the curved walls, computer towers stood side by side, flashing their multicolored processing buttons as the tables spun at their tops. Lazy ponies, dressed in fine uniforms and headsets, cupped over their ears and paced about the room, particularly checking the information spewing from slits in the computers at long lengths. That was at the master table, and like his fellow ponies, he too arched himself over an extensive piece of paper. Numbers listing Iron Hammer's consumption of fragmented sun gem ore was marked by a series of numbers lying horizontally. As his eyes fell on the numbers, he muttered them aloud. 0.06, 0.07, 0.08. Shaking his head, he grunted, snorting from his nose. Is this the best we could do? One unicorn stallion glanced over the information, pushing off one speaker at the headset side. What's that? Slightly slapping the paper with the back end of his hoof, Dutch repeated, Is this the best we can do? Well, stallion slurred, throwing his case aside, we could increase the pressure along the upper purification. No, I'm not sure the pumps could take on the extra stress for too long. Fine, divert what you can to the pumps. Keep them shooting the missile up before until we reach critical levels. Not informed at once. The stallion saluted him and trotted off to the other end of the room to the computer tower. Sighing, Das returned to his paper. We can't afford any setbacks, even if they're as minor as this. A faint shaking overtook the room, briefly stirring those inside. A current of white dust fell from the ceiling, coating the table in a brown plume of dust. Aside from this, the tremor came and went, quicker than the blink of an eye. For the moment, everyone paused, turning their eyes upward. That shrugged, went back to his paper. Damn earthquakes, he scoffed. The ground shook once more, jerking the entire room. Thad stumbled forward. His cat jumped on the edge of the table, knocking the wind out of him. He wheezed, gasping while holding himself up with both trembling hooves on the tabletop. What the hell was that? He snarled, recollecting the air in his lungs. It's an earthquake? One pony across the room murmured. In a moment after the pony spoke, the light snapped off, and a dim red glow from the emergency lighting hummed to life. At the end of the room, by the thickly bolted iron exit door, a brisk metallic rapping thrummed the air. The drumming echoes bounced off the rotunda above, while a mare that had been monitoring a nearby computer tower went to the door and answered it. Pushing it open for the visitor at the door, Legion soldiers stumbled through the doorway, panting heavily. Smart smudges of dirt stained what was part of the soldier's yellow matted coat, were exposed underneath the weighted armor she wore. A bow saddle was fastened to her green-plated barding, though the belt hugging her gut was torn slightly into buckle. Sir! The soldier gasped, her voice sizzled with urgency. Sir! Tess approached the soldier slowly, as the pain from his stomach still throbbed. What is it, soldier? What the hell's going on? The soldier's exasperated inhalations were muffled under the leather gas mask. Trembling to lift her neck up, the soldier put her visor below Thas's level. "The matter, sir! They're gone insane!" Reeling back, Thas stirred. "What? Are you serious?" Bringing herself to nod once, the soldier continued. "They're already reached the upper levels, and they sealed off the main exit for the surface." A mumble of hushed, worried whispers fell on the ponies in the control room. Thas felt the adrenaline-filled heartbeats pound against the walls of his chest. Hot sweat gathered on his brow, matting the mane of his hat. He gulped a coarse lump down his throat and asked, "Have they taken the armory yet?" "They're on the way now, sir!" the soldier sighed, dropping her weary head. "We'll see his collar." Thas leaned down close to the soldier's ear. "How many of us are there? Answer quietly, soldier." Glancing around the white-eyed computer operating staff, the quick, panic-laden whispers shot back at one another. She replied, "Enough to hold our own time, for a time. I don't know how much longer we can hold up without aid from the surface." Thas nodded. He was falling to a minimum. "We need to get to the armory. If we're too late, we need to get to the mine central control room. From there, we can contact the outside." Peeking over Thas's shoulder at the staff, the soldier struck her head at him as they slowly gathered near the table at the news. "What about them, sir? So we evacuate them to a safer location further in the mine?" Thas shook his head. "Negative, soldier. Moving a group like this through the mine would be a slaughter. Besides, we can't afford the loss of these ponies." "Very well, sir," the soldier said, facing the entire group of ponies who operated the multitude of computers and devices, craning his nose upward, addressing the whole of those before him. Stiffening his spine, he spoke in a authoritative tone. "As you have heard, we have a situation on our hands. A riot is underway in the mines, has already taken the lives of some of our staff." A torrid, bouncing lump developed in his throat, lifting his voice as he attempted to maintain a steady pitch. "Please don't panic. I, along with the private, will assess and handle the issue as swiftly as possible. All I ask is you remain here, bar the door, and wait for further instruction." A plethora of frightened hisses and susurrations spread over the room, like a bad rumor infesting the populace. Doubly so after a short quake rattled the ground. Thas collected himself and returned. "Please, we have our hopes on the progression of the project. Be strong, be brave, remember what we're doing for the world, for our province, and above all else, do not open that door for anyone." Turning to the soldier, Thas pointed the tip of his nose to the door. "Let's be off, soldier. I need to arm myself before this gets out of hand." Looking up at him, the soldier's words were frank. "It may already be too late, sir." Arching the eyebrow, Thas replied, "Why do you say that?" "Because they held the practice." Adam hastily tried down a corridor. The search of his brother had gone fruitless for far too long. Where had he gone? And now how no other eyes had seen him were questions that pecked at Adam's mind. He stared right at the end of the hall, came to a long hallway, not like the others that branched throughout the mountain. Moving by other corridors on his left, Adam glanced down the long halls before switching to the next one. This took his focus away from looking straight at him, completely shutting out any who might be on a collision course for him. Vladimir was at the other end of the hall, slowly dragging his hose, gaining lonely into the pain, glancing through a slight movement. Too busy gazing at the empty corridors to notice Vladimir, Adam's head collided with Vladimir's. The pain inflicted on Vladimir was minuscule when compared to the constant sharpness that infused every part of him. Adam, however, felt the full bluntness of the collide as he stumbled back, placing the back end of his hoof to his now sore brow. Adam hissed, recoiling at the action. Before shaking his head, looking at the fire, your brother is here. Dropping the hoof to the ground, he blinked at Vladimir. "Ranger? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to where I was going." Leeson Emperor massaged the lower part of his temple, staring at Adam with eyes scared and shadowed sleepless gloom. "And what is it that you're doing that the guys know not to look forward?" Holding his pep buck, Adam looked at the constant flashing of the clock mark 8 p.m. "Looking for my brother," He had a confrontation with our dad and just went off to where I can't say. Vladimir's upper eyelids sagged over the top portion of his eyes, ears too lazily fell. In response to Adam, he returned to the gruff, gurgling voice. That's unfortunate. He sounded the least bit interested in the topic, but Vladimir was the first pony he had seen since inspecting the room. I understand you must be recovering. I know the last thing you want is to be involved with our family troubles, but I need to ask you for something. Summoning his additional strength, Vladimir forced an eyebrow. Have you seen my brother? He asked. I've been looking everywhere for him, but I can't find him. A clear objective, the only objective Vladimir had, was getting to his room. The sooner he could continue, the better. I'm sorry, I haven't seen you. The cruel, chilling whisper of the creature spoke to his ear. That isn't true, little rat. Why are you lying to the boy? Why not be truthful? Has the lovey-dovey side of you finally hardened? Vladimir's left eye twitched, whilst the pain immediately rose to a thrashing sensation, beating his entire body down. The feeling wobbled his leg joints and numbed his sense of hearing. Every other sound that he heard was muffled under a layer of pain. Adam took a step forward, peering at Vladimir's sinking legs. Are you okay? You don't look well. A single, husky chuckle blurred from him. I feel fine. Just fine. More lying, the creature remarked. I thought you were supposed to be the good guy, little rat. Heroes don't lie. Adam pulled a neutral expression. I won't keep you from going where you need to go. I got one more question. Vladimir kept silent. During his silence, as an answer to continue, Adam inquired, during my trip around here, looking for my brother, I came upon a room. I don't remember to see where you were staying. Vladimir Lau continued. I heard a beeping coming from the room. Vladimir's heart leapt as Adam spoke to him. It looked like the bags were in there. Creature's bodiless giggle wiggled and twisted inside his ear. Are you going to lie again? What are you going to say? Oh, say something silly. Throw him off. Yes, Vladimir uttered in a grunt. That's my room. The spectre's voice sounded disappointed. Oh, you're no fun at all, are you? Raising a hoof found mad. I'm sorry if I entered without your permission. It's just anywhere could be a potential place for my brother to be. Vladimir's eyes widened, while a new level of tormenting pain came to him. The sensation of a hot knife, shivery red and glowing, fully alight to the edge of the grip, plunged itself into his throat. The whipper-door painfully groan escaped. He could only be silent. I found a tracking device in there too. Stable brand technology. And I was wondering what purpose it held. At this time, all sounds were drowned out of his mind. Little claws, digging into his eardrums, tightened their hold and wake about his voice. He couldn't speak, couldn't hear anything but the constant chime of a faint rain drilling deeper and deeper. Anna felt Vladimir's face flush with heat, feeling the hot energy beam off of him. Danger? Slapping the hemlock of his hoof to the center of his brow, Vladimir bared his teeth. Anna mercifully remarked, if anyone knows you're not doing well, you need to go back to medical bay. Get to sleep and take a health potion. Releasing the heavy clamp of his great teeth, he muttered, I just want to get to my room. Pitying the poor stallion, Alice shaking said, you really should let someone help you. It's not good for you to allow yourself to feel this way. Walking around Vladimir, Adam started down the hall to lead him to his own path. Adam hadn't taken more than a few steps from him before he spun around, finding the pain and murmuring grouse. When the hoof extended out to Adam, Vladimir coughed. Wait. Adam stopped, turned around and looked at Vladimir. Your brother, Vladimir started weakly. Try checking binom 3. It's down the hall. Why do you say that? Adam asked. Dropping his hoof, Vladimir winced at the straw he provided. Just a good feeling. Beyond the worry of Vladimir and the pain he underwent, the news was aglow in sweet balmy sincerity. Perhaps it was a gut feeling, but it was working in man's to recover his own. There was no shortage of thank yous, nor reply of words of any fashion. Anna simply gave him a smile and walked down the hall. Vladimir felt better that way. To bring himself to smile returned to grinding, thanks to what be almost 2 months. Facing the opposing end of the hall, Vladimir shuffled onward, suffering through the pain as quietly as possible. Neo sat on the hill, upon the short, cool grass, brushed with the droplets of chilly dew nipping his haunches. He pressed his back through the rough bark of an oak tree, enjoying the heavy curtain of shade it provided. In its glistening, gnarled branches, the golden light above pierced through the cracks of the forested canopy. Staring at the ground, Neo listened to the soothing ambience of the bayou. A creek somewhere out of sight rustling softly, while the gently soft of rustling leaves overhead trembled in the wake of artificially generated breeze. Through the sky, wind, sun, and clouds, it was all fake. It felt real. Between a few trees in front of him, could see the tiny white thumbtack of sized petals of a lone marigold in a low light at the underbrush. How alone it must be to sit amongst the giants without proper sunlight to glow. The longer he peered at the single flower, the deeper his stomach sank. Thinking it was stiff with the wind, the heavy aroma of dirt lingered in the air, brought from the westly tilled soil of the farmland in the distance. Imagine at one instant in time the world was just as it was in the bayou. Calm, devoid of ponies that could discern the peace with guns or threats of war. To think the world was at ease. The faint sound of grass shifting, and dead leaves crunching from behind him straightened his back. It was out of place to sort of disturbance, enticing both ears to swivel in its direction. Quickly, Neil looked over his shoulder at the source of the strange oncoming noise. Where the rustling had been, there his mother stood. Halfway to the trunk of the tree he sat at. As his eyes lay on her, she paused where she stood, a hoof still hovering mid-step. Neil turned his entire body to face her. Mom, what are you doing here? She lowered her hoof and smiled. I was looking for you. Neil's ears drooped as he returned to laying back against the tree. Well, I want to be alone for a bit. Dahlia ambled around to try to see her son. I know what I said, and you're upset. I would be too if I were in your place. Looking up at her, Neil asserted firmly. Then let us stay here. I want to help you more than anything. But I can't do that if I'm cooped up back home. Taking a seat next to him on the tree, he sighed. I remember when I was your age. All I wanted to do was help ponies. It was my sole dream, my only prerogative in life. What stopped you then? Neil asked. I knew that life was far from becoming safe in the world. At the time, we hadn't found this place yet. We were still operating in an old motel outside of Ironhoof. Craning her nose to the rustling branches, she closed her eyes and smiled. Above helping ponies, the one thing I wanted more than anything else was to have children. At that time, in that world, I couldn't guarantee a safe life for them, not until our work was done. She added in the same relaxed, airy voice, I would be this age by the time my work was done, even older while the Providence was undergoing reconstruction. Directing her emerald eyes to Neo, the simmering in the delicate light in the afternoon, melting Zeal's heart in a warm, mushy puddle. There was only one safe place I could turn to. The thought of losing you or Adam was stronger than any force I studied or seen. Rubbing the metal surface of his mechanical hoof, Neo trailed his eyes to the side, suddenly feeling the impact of her words expand his softening heart. Lightly touching his shoulder, she affectedly smiled, quoting him in the only way a mother could. The information you're breaking to us tomorrow will help those ponies. So you may not have carried out the deed yourself. What you learned of will finally be able to help the provinces as a whole. And when it's all over, she continued, we'll be the same together, out here, in this world, a safe world. Neo muttered under his breath. I'm not the same pony you left in the stable. Adam isn't either. Patting his shoulder, she added sweetly, that may be true, but you're still my children. As long as I'm able, I will protect you. Neo leaned towards her. resting the side of his head on her shoulder. Closing his eyes, he took a deep breath of humid air. A wave of warm blood laced to his cheeks. Sensation removed the rest of the warmth from Neil's body, causing him to tremble. Behind his eyes, new tears forcibly pressed on his eyelids, trying to desperately escape. Why did you leave us then? Why didn't you tell us? I left to finish this, so you wouldn't have to spend your entire life in there, so that your children didn't. If I had told you both, you'd go looking for me. She answered, brushing some of Neil's mane. A chuckle raced up through her mouth between her teeth. Though, you seemed to do that anyway. Theo could hear the faint breathing of his mother through her shoulder. He wanted to speak out. The urge rattled his body, but lips remained sealed. She tenderly kissed Neil's forehead. I love you both so much. What your father and I decide is to keep you safe. Her son's silence was a cue that something stirred on. Aside from the decision the two of them made for their children. Why are you alone out here? I thought you'd be in a room with your friends, or Adam. He had to force himself to speak through a tightened diaphragm. Even then his speech was hushed and weak with overbearing emotion. Dad, after all you said, for whatever reason he or you to justify leaving, I can't forgive him for what he did to you, or to us as a family. You should talk to him, Neo, she said. Nothing good could come from just hating him. Neo remained silent as she persisted. He loves you, more than you allow him to see. Opening his eyes, the flood of damn tears flowed across both cheeks. What if I can't? I feel so angry around him. Just like I wanted to make him pay for all the neglect, for all the pain he put you through. A ringing smile returned as he pulled Neo close to her breast. Shh, she whispered, wrapping a hoof around him, gently stroking the top of his head. I know, my son. I know how it is. But you need to talk to him, she repeated. Your hate for him will only get worse until you do. Buffalo covered her hoofs, clumping against the soft grass, racing from behind him, sounding through a series of twig cracks and dry, crackling leaves. Still cradling Neo in her hoofs, Dahlia turned a sideways glance to see Adam returning. Panting, Adam stopped a few feet from the tree's base. Mom, what are you doing here? A three-thirty laugh blurted from her as she held Neo. I was just wanting to check on the forest before they shut down for the night. Though fate would have it, I found your brother instead. What about you, Adam? Why are you here? Adam's heavy, exasperated breath grew less and less deep. I was looking for him. Ranger said I should check here. Then ask the police, let the Frankie see him. Blood pointing in a meadow, and not far back he said he was here. She smiled again. Sounds like you've had quite the adventure. It was more like a nightmare. Adam laughed, calming his own spot sitting by the tree. It's been forever trying to catch up. Neil was sighing softly. Celia covered him best he could. I've had a talk with your brother, but the decision your father and I made, even about your father. I was wanting to talk to him about that, Adam mentioned. Before I went on a manhunt for him, he yelled at Dad and strode off. Nestling her lower jaw on top of Neo's head, she hugged Neo tight. Well, he's fine now. Hopefully you consider talking to your father. Adam leisurely slouched on the face of the trunk, moving his sight to the massive ball of glowing gems collectively gathered in the center of the artificial sky. A loud, sharp snap rang throughout the dome, followed by the glow dimming into a humongous orb as it pulled up the compartment inside the ceiling. Mom? Adam felt a buzz of tingling anxiety seeking his lower gut. I have a question. Lifting her head, she looked at Adam. What is it? Playing his hose, Adam felt dubious. Gulping a dry lump, Adam faced the situation hard on. Do you think we'll ever be a normal family again? Without projects or secrets? Can such a thing be achievable now? Her eyes were fixed on Adam for a moment, unblinking, unmoving. Then, she extended a hoof out to him, defying Adam to join in the huddle. Getting close, she wrapped her entire foreleg around Adam's back, clamping his shoulder. Reeling Adam into the hug, Dahlia sighed, gazing at the darkening sky. We're a family now. Secrets, projects, and conflicts, All of it comes with being a family. But none of that will change the fact that we love each other. And none of those things can take away my love. My son. Vladimir entered his room gasping. Fresh stream of fresh velvet blood stained the fur below each nostril, winding over the corners of his mouth before dripping to the floor. He leaned on the doorway, feeling a torrid sharpness scrape the inside of his brain. His entire body felt the effects. Trembling legs and a vigorous shiver convulsed every ounce of Vladimir's figure. The world spun in sudden jerking motions, veering one way to the other. Collecting what focus he could, he staggered into the room as the door closed behind him. As the joints of his legs grew numb, he tore through the room to his bed. Glancing just as the bedside, he quickly picked himself back up, putting a hoof on the bed, upturning his posture to all fours. Placing another hoof on the bed, he rose up, grunting underneath the tightly gnashed teeth. Lifting himself high enough, he hopped once, laying his stomach on the sheets. Droplets of fresh warm blood sprinkled the blankets as Vladimir wiggled his entire body on the bed. Rolling over both saddlebags, Vladimir positioned himself to his side, staring deep openly on the other bed, the opposite side of the room. His terror took over every muscle reflex. His hoof moved, shaking came with it. The player whined, while Stallion could only lay there. Only himself demands the pain grinding his mind. Blinking once, the creature appeared on the other bed, lazily laying back with both hooves. I've noticed something, little red, the creature smoothly purred. Something I believe deserves addressing. They removed one hoof from behind his head, inspected the fire details of his transparent hemlock. Despite this interesting plan you concocted, I noticed a sincere lack of initiative towards the actual goal. Vladimir couldn't speak. He could lay on his bed like a slug and watch the creature. I would even so go far as saying that this lack of incentive could be considered strike two on our little deal. Turning over to face him, it supported its head on one bent leg. You do remember our deal, right? Vladimir's breath was tinged in shallow, shuddering breaths, yet no words escaped his lips to speak out. No grunts or disgust or disdain, nor a whimper of mercy. Merely the sound of his weakened breath wheezed, giving the creature nothing to work with. The spectre sighed, closing both empty white eyes. I believe this will count as strike two. Opening one eye at Vladimir, a crude smirk took form. Leslie crested of sharp white teeth brightly illuminated the low light of the room. I would imagine taking this way to strengthen your conviction, perhaps even entice you to do a little something while you're here. If I were you, little red, which, if you keep up at this rate, I will be, I'd find a way to get a sun gem and get out of here. Giggling, the operation faded away, leaving behind the echoing laughter filling Vladimir's ears. Just some food for thought, little red. Just some food for thought. Taking the corner of the seats, Vladimir brought the collected blankets to his chest. Quivering under the pain, his body turned cold as he shut both eyes to sleep. Time would tell how it played out for him. He creaked under the stressed soreness pounding throughout the temples of his head. Scourge sat in a dark cell with only the lit candles lighting up the room. Flickering orange light ignited the dull, cavernous walls, teeming and glaring stardust like quartz. A piece of rock, he brought on a smoother, more flat section of the wall. There, the former Legion captain drew a crude depiction and covered it. Once completed, he strode to the other end of the cell and found several sharper stones. He threw them at the picture. Each toss held a bit of his heat, as the force of the rocks against the wall exploded into a cloud of fine powder, accompanied by dozens of chalky fragments flying about in all directions. With every impact came a white powdered smudge. A quick dash to wall art, and a single strong blow removed the mark entirely. He continued this until no other stones were left. Whopper sat in a far corner of the cell, watching his friends relentlessly batter stones upon the wall. You really like that file, huh, boss? Scare's eyes pinched together as he leered at the picture. How are you even alive of it? What do you suppose we do? Can't do much locked up tight in the cell, can we? Dropping his nose to the floor, like a bloodhound sniffing the ground. Scooter searched for more stones along the edge of the wall. I don't know what we're gonna do. Locking his eyes into a pebble, no bigger than a penny, he picked it up, holding it up in the cup of his hoof. And one day, I'm gonna get out of here. When that day comes, I'm gonna find her and make that covert feel pay! Grinning his teeth, Scooter propelled the pebble at the picture, loudly echoing its forceful collision throughout the cell. Ah! Scooter bellowed, thumping his saucers on the ground. I need to get out of here! Laying his ears flying on the top of the straight, greasy hairs of his mane. Scooter sighed and looked to Whopper. Who am I kidding? I'm not going to get out of here. Maybe use the last Celestia for help. Scooter rolled his eyes down. Really? You think she's not even there? Or even on the opposites? Shocking, Whopper replied. Worth the shot, I reckon. Not like you're losing anything over it. Scooter grumbled a little, sadly pouting for a moment. Then, pointing his nose to the ceiling, he groused, Celestia, if you're really there, or if you can hear me, please get Whopper and I out of here. That sure be lovely. The ground shook abruptly, jerking the two ponies in their spots. Tumbling over and sinking, the rumblings subsided. Instantly, Whopper turned his eyes to the ceiling and muttered, Celestia? Another time, the earth quaked, sending the two stumbling off their footing. I don't think that was Celestia, Scooter shouted. A thick, bolted iron door was the only way in or out of the cell. At its top was a small barred speakeasy. The outside hallways, a series of screams erupted as the shaky persisted. Run! It's coming! It's coming! A pilot's voice outside cried, Run! 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 A disembodied mare's voice, tinged with a terrorist standard, screamed, Hurry to the opening! To the opening! Scooter gingerly approached the door, shifting his head to one side. What the hell? Leaping against the door, he leaned down with both foes as he gazed down the small window to the outside corridor. Orange glow, like the burning of a hot low flame, painted a crawl across the cell. Stretched the leads in the shadow of soldiers running, bobbed up and down as he grew near. The brisk, clamorous clopping reverberated down the passageway, dancing by Scooter's door. He called out his sprinting soldiers, Hey! What's going on out there? It's coming! One soldier repeated at the height of his voice, It's coming! Before Scooter could have a chance to speak another word, a powerful gust of air shot through the window, knocking him on his rump. The blast followed by a fiery explosion, erupting a booming shockwave, and shooting most of the cavern dust and firefly-like sparks through the speakeasy window. Whopper rose, hurried to Scooter's side. Rolls, you all right? Scooter groaned, feeling the cool air sweat on his brow. Yeah, I think so. He put a hoof to the base of his temple. Rose shaking his head. What in the name of Vladimir's that? Whopper looked to the hellish light, pouring through the bars of the cell door. I don't know, boss. Hobbling to the door, Scooter got onto his hind legs, peeking through the tiny window once more. Dense cloud of dust obscured the outside, leaving the fire's glow for the explosion left to pierce the veil of heavy soot. Through the cloud, a figure took form, a dark feline creature, silhouetted in the fire's burning radiance. A long tail swayed behind the beast as his powerful Herculean shoulder plates clattered together in the prowl. In the shadow, breaking the sheen that hid away the monster's features, a pair of beady red eyes dimly shone. Scooter stared wide-eyed at the machine striding past the cell, growling a deep, revving metallic snarl. Frozen in his place, without sparing so much as a blink, Scooter stared at the beast in shock. Whopper nudged him, whispering, Bowles, what is it? Scooter gulped hard, answered a fear-stricken whimper. It's a predator. Neil lay still on his bed, staring deeply into the ceiling like a navigator, expecting the horizon of vast, endless area. Neil's brother was less indulgent a moment. Adam sat on the edge of the bed, swaying both hind legs while fixedly reading the statistics on his pip-bug screen. Inhaling once deeply, Neil closed his eyes. Mind went adrift on the rough oceanic tides of thought. Two knocks at the door didn't remove him from his voyage. Sal lowered his foreleg, leaping from his bed to answer the door. Coming to the button on the doorframe, Adam opened the door to reveal Allie behind it. Hi, Allie. What's up? Allie leaned in forward to the doorway, looking toward Neo. The gals and I are going to sleep in a few minutes. Just wanted to come by and say goodnight. And, she added, drawing a shielding hook to her side of her mouth, there's something else. Lifting an eyebrow, Al whispered, What is it? Allie kept her voice to a minimum. It's about Neo. I want to make sure he's, all right. When you guys came back to your room, he didn't look well. Well, we both had a really hard day. For him, it's been emotionally straining. Should I talk to him about it? Is he gonna be okay? Hans glanced over his shoulder to see his brother. He was not disturbed by the conversation. Forward turned to Allie. Right now, I think he's dealing with some personal conflicts. Maybe it's best we let him figure it out on his own. Let him find answers. Well, Allie said, if he needs to talk to anyone, I'm right across the hallway. Al smiled. Thanks, Allie. I'll let him know. Blaming a hoof, she turned back towards her room. There I am. Slight nod of his head. Al replied in a husky neck to Allie. Then, gently tapping the button, the door swiftly set closed. Coming back to his bed, Al threw himself onto the mattress, contracting squeakings and springs inside. He didn't pause to enjoy the aftermath that followed. Rather, Al slithered across the now wrinkled sheets to his pillow. Out the undisturbed pillow on his bed, Al plunked the back of his bed to the fluff. There, the mane and head sank into the sweet, supportive comfort it provided. Al subconsciously purred at the rolling warmth that tickled his spine and back. This is nice, brother. Really wish we had beds like this when we were traveling. Wouldn't that have been cool? Neo remained mute. Trance-like state. Al quickly trudged before wiggling his body to the mattress, in the hopes of allowing it to further mold the shape of his back. Just when he brought the movement to a halt, Neo spoke. Neo's tone was deep and somber. It was almost though he was speaking to himself. I need to ask you something. Al finally fixed the bed to work with his body. Moving was not an option. Yeah, what is it? Should... For a moment, Neo's face faltered. Should I talk to Dad tomorrow? You want to talk to him? Face to face? Yeah, I guess so. I replied mildly. Dad doesn't hate you, you know. A bit of melancholy clung to Neo's words. It's not that, it's just... What am I going to tell him? Not sure if I could spring myself to speak calmly. Just keep a level, open mind. Maybe it won't be as bad as you want it to be. Maybe you'll be quick, who knows? Neo sighed heavily, slipping one foreleg over his brow. It doesn't help that we have to give him all the information on Iron Hammer. But you wanted to tell him about it. Well, Neil stammered. I do, but what if we forget? What if we go blank in the middle of it all? A throaty chuckle bubbled up from Al's chest. You're worrying too much. Not everyone's going to forget. And besides, Ranger's got to present his findings too. A spark ignited in Al, which overbears you right in his eyes. It threw him upright. Say, I almost forgot. What is it? Looking to his brother, Adam answered, Instantly, I thought that trusting Ranger was a fine idea, at least to a certain degree. But recently, I've been suspicious about who he really is. What do you mean? In Ranger's room, I found a Stable-Tech grade tracking device. Haven't seen one in weeks. Yet there was one that was receiving a signal of some sort. Think it might belong to the Coalition? Neil added. Maybe, Adam replied in a low hum. Can't say for sure. I don't do much investigating afterwards, being in his room after all. Then who could he be? Neil wondered aloud. He isn't with the Coalition. The Legion wouldn't send someone like him. They'd probably send a team of soldiers to do it. Maybe an independent organization apart from them? Adam offered. Maybe he's neither of the three. Whatever he is, Neo started, or to whoever he's loyal to, it's something we can figure out later. Right now, we just gotta keep a close eye on him. Make sure he doesn't cause any trouble. Again, Neo closed his eyes. Taking a deep breath, filling his lungs to full capacity, he said a yawning exhale. Either way, I'm gonna need the night to think. And hopefully sleeping sometime in between. It was the late hours of the night that all were fast asleep. All but the tiny clinging beetles, scurrying about the corners of the wall, palsing the floors as they went. Even at this nightly hour, The hallway lights were still on, easily reflecting the glossy fins the machines left in their travels. Buster sat outside of Mayor's room, standing guard. He didn't feel the awakening fatigue of sleep hinder his mind or strength. Rather, the quiet nights were time to ponder, to further contemplate the state of the situation. To review what his goals were, and access the perimeter for hostiles. Since the time the other ponies in his group had went to sleep, no clear signs of danger could be seen. For hours, nothing approached in either direction of the hall, no matter how many times he glanced one way or the next. Nothing but the faint electric hum of the overhead lights could be heard. Standing for guard for hours now took its toll on hydration. Underneath the breather and helmet, his lips felt bare, thin, chipping to a lack of fluid. A torrid dry spell had befallen his entire mouth, affecting both tongue cheeks alike. The rest of him had sinks, but sinks came running water. Oh, how the soft, cool sensation of crisp liquid, refreshing the air conditioned in his mouth. Wester's left leg anxiously thumped the ground as he turned his gaze to the restrooms down the hall. Nearly 50 feet clear of the hallway sat between him and a fresh drink from the sinks. Wester coughed hoarsely, walked to the bathroom. A minute at most, so certainly would not expose the entrance for too long. Clicking his pace, he went to the stallion's restroom. The room was nearly as pearly and steely as their halls outside. The walls, the ceiling, it all had a faint glimmering of newness that not many centers outside had. Despite the luring nature of the interior, his focus fished out the 3 porcelain sinks from the halls. Tearing across the room, he approached the nearest one, spun the cold faucet in his hand. Out of the steely nozzle came a marvelous stream of clear, running water. A small lever engraved on the back end of the faucet sealed the drain, allowing for the water to pool and deepen into the sink. Once the water had filled the sink halfway, Wester's crimson aura keysed its horn. Likewise, around the faucet head turned it off. Undoing the breather on his mask, he lowered himself to the surface of the water and sloppily lapped the liquid inside. Tiny cough, no louder than a whimper, blasted through the restroom. Wester's ears perked up as he spun himself around, flipping the top flap of his holsters up. As his visors came to the sound source, he saw it was Big Lot, one of the bed sheets slung over his shoulder. She stared up at him, her head cocked to his side with a raised eyebrow. I'm drinking. Wester recoiled his defense, put his breather back on.
I didn't hear you come in.
That's because I'm a sneaky little bugger, Big Lot answered.
What are you doing in here? This is the science room.
Big Lot blinked down, looked around the room in a moment. Looking about the signs, you can't tell me what to do.
That still doesn't answer my inquiry.
Wester firmly added.
What are you doing here?
Barrier sight on his own, and there was a chuckle parted from her lips. Believe it or not, I'm here to talk to you. Wester stepped back, shaking his head.
Me?
Yeah, I know, it's a little weird. Quickly pulling a sour frown, she pinched her eyes and glaring. Don't tell anyone I came here either. The last thing I need is to be ridiculed for looking like a pansy. And I'm no pansy! Nearly down to her eye level, Wester asked as earnestly as he could.
Affirmative. I won't tell a soul. Now, what is it you wanted to say, little one?
The bear expressed it fast. For a moment, Big Lot was completely quiet. To lifting her gaze to meet Wester's, she said, "Is that what you did? Back at my home?"
The border?
She nodded. "I want to know why you didn't kill me. What stopped you?" Wester rubbed the space behind his mellow ear.
Why are you asking me, little one?
Big Lot's cheeks bloomed in fury red. "You said I need to make amends with his brother. When you told me what it means, it made me think of what you did for me. So I want to know, why do you feel that way? How do I make amends?" A pause lasted between them for a second, though Wester answered as effectively as he could.
What I did. I did because I don't kill fools. My directive firmly dictates to protect and serve my comrades. I needed to diverge from my directive because I'm not its tool.
So, Philly hummed, rolling her eyes to the side, I need to diverge from being a computer?
Negative.
So, she started again. What I need to do is find out who I am, despite how I feel, and make amends with him? Wester nodded, affirmative. What did I say? Mommy messes me off or beats me up.
I wouldn't say Neo's the one who attacks little ones.
Still, she growled, what should I do? What would I do?
So you're sorry, Lester remarked. Defers from your directive. Do not fear him as an enemy.
Sparring a neutral expression, she grumbled. Still doesn't help much.
Forgive me, little one. I'm not efficient in handling issues regarding socialization.
Big sighed, looking up at him. It's something, I guess. Standing, Lester commented.
Affirmative.
Together, the two stood in the bathroom. Both had their eyes upon each other. An awkward silence charged the air. Neither said a word. Biglock moved her gaze from Lester and turned it towards the floor. So, Biglock mumbled, walking easily on the floor. What now? Together, the two stood in the bathroom. Both their eyes upon each other. Awkward silence charged the air. Neither said a room. Biglock moved her gaze from Lester and turned it to the floor. So, Biglock mumbled, what now?
I'm not sure.
I don't hug you or anything, I hope you know that.
Affirmative. I suspected you wouldn't.
Good, because I had enough musty gun for one night. A low red flashing light, burning through the sheer steam, bursting through the pipes, overtook all other illumination in the halls of dark mines. The alarm, a deafening blare of the horn, blasted while the Legion's soldiers, in pairs of three, sprinted down the hallways. Death was among a group of his own, panting as a warm, thick, steady droplets ran down his neck. A semi-automatic battle sound was harsher to his officer's body. The bullet-feeding belt tingled silently in his stride. The ground trembled again, causing those who were running to stumble. Quake jerked them sideways. First guessing, Death caught himself on the wall with both gloves. Called over to one of the soldiers behind him. What was that? That's the biggest one we felt yet. A shot to the midsection of the mine! Must have collapsed, sir! The soldier replied over the alarm's cry. A pair of Legion's soldiers, a mare and a stallion, came cantering toward them. That stood in front of the two, frantically waving a hoof. Step! Step! Bringing themselves to a halt. The soldier stiffly saluted his ears and, Sir! Death pinched his eyes, inspecting the rank of the mare. Lieutenant, where's the state of the army? A sturdy tone was their response. Can't say, sir. Last I heard, the squad was down there fighting off two predators. Recently, I haven't heard anything from the army, sir. Scrunty's desk nodded his nasty dividend. Bringing both eyes to the side, he peeled tapped his chin in thought. Quickly returning to the mare, he relayed his thoughts. We'll have to go with plan B. I need to get to the transmission room on the 5th level. Where were you two heading before I stopped you? We were heading to the lower levels, hoping to fend off the predators that are moving down there. Change of orders. You two are coming with me. That's the point there. The sooner I can get someone outside to break down the entrance, the sooner we can push them out with the troops we have outside. Stan took a step forward, pulling his path to path behind Fats. What about the armory, sir? What about Ironhammer? If the personnel is smart, they seal themselves in. As for the armory, it's safe to assume it's lost. Another season seized the ground, shook it, fiercely tossing the legionnaires about. Fats lurched in a shake, planting his feet where he could maintain a stable position. In the wake of the shudder, a darkening cloud of dust shot out behind him. The wave of dense stir in the air tickled, clung to Datz's legs, forcing up several dying coughs that stung his chest. Nearly 100 back at the source of the dust cloud was a set of blood-red eyes, clearing the brown, blanketing mist. Datz looked over his shoulder, spying the bloodiest eyes moving away as he drew closer. His heart pounded on the walls of his chest as he jostled the two ponies from him apart. Shouting at the height of his voice, Datz sprinted down the hall. Run! The brothers' eyes were wreathed in darkest, sleeping gloom. Together, they shuffled onward to a war room, noises drooping like a sagging pair of mule's ears. Ahead of them, the same officer who stood in the rooms the day before was guiding the two into a meeting. Neil had been awake for a far portion of the previous night in thought, sparing mere moments in between thoughts to sleep. He yawned as he came around the doorway leading to the war room. Security guard stepped to the side, extended his hoof to the center of the room. They both mutely nodded at her while entering the war room. Once past the security officer, She straightened her back and walked down to the wall of the cane. A large, round space made up the war room. At the room's center, the octagon table, built to the floor, had several chairs seated up around it. Covering a majority of the tabletop was a massive geographical map of the entire province, adorned in a multitude of blue and green flags, marking position held by each faction. Lucy, Wester, and Allie were already at the table, leisurely chatting to one another in hushed voices. Lucy's ears perked up as she glanced over her shoulder to see her brothers approaching. A smirk grew, followed by a scoff. "My ladies, sleep well?" Her teasing didn't seem to face the mood of the elder brother. "I've had better nights," Neil answered, scooting out of a chair. Taking her place at the table, Adam yawned and rubbed the sleep out of both eyes. "Are we early?" Leaning back in her chair, Lucy crossed both forelegs behind her head. "Seems so." Big Lot was playing amongst the beetles. She baited and came to catch at least one. As though she pounced and jumped at the robot, zipping along the floor. Its near instant reflexes of the machines would counter her advance. This proved to be a challenging catching one, but Big Lot persisted regardless. Adam watched her attempt to catch her cleaving bot. "You think you'll catch one?" Lucy blew between her teeth, shrugging. "Eventually, maybe." Vladimir came crumbling through the door like a drunk. No matter which direction his feet took him, his body swayed the opposite direction. Below the stressed sags furrowed underneath his eyelids. A shadow skirted on the upper region of the aging emperor's cheeks. Within the somber, lifeless skull he held, Fitch's relevant blood suffused the veins, rising out across the whites of his eyes. Ellie was the first to notice his arrival, as he rose in her seat staring at him with an urgent, lying fix. "Ranger, you okay?" Alexander spurred the others to look at Vladimir. Like her, they too abandoned all other moods in exchange for worry. Vladimir tore across the room, pushing anything in his path aside, kicking the beetles that bumped to his hose, eventually coming to a seat at the table. Supporting himself on the rim of the backrest, he looked at his shaking hoof, mustering a weak, contorted smile.
No, please, don't worry. I'm fine.
Lucy's expression. A sarcastic chuckle ran up the bottom of her chest, barely escaping from her lips. "The hell you are!"
I'm fine.
Vladimir said, climbing onto his seat.
Please, just don't worry about me.
Fumbling over a hoof and leg to get on the seat seemed like an endeavor on its own. Allie leaned over on his section of the table toward him, speaking tenderly to the gangly stallion. "You're not feeling well in the slightest. Don't have to be here right now." The creature's voice whispered in his ears. "I'm certain this is one meeting we must stay for. Wouldn't you agree?" Vladimir let out several dry, whooping coughs. In the blare of his hacking, all those in the room were quiet. After the coughing had ended, he raised his eyes and sniffed.
I am well enough to attend. Truly I am.
The instinct sound of thunderous marching echoed from the hallway, like drums accompanying the entrance of some royal military figure. 4 opponents came through the room. The first was an Earth Point stallion suited in a camouflage shirt, over which a leather duster covered. The two behind him were unicorns. One wore similar uniforms of beige or green berets slashed onto the right manes. At the back of the group, a security officer followed. Further behind him, Dahlia and Ronan, who were at least speaking from a distance to the main assortment of decorated coalition officers. The stallion heading the other officers were a deep, sapphire blue with firm, solid eyes that opposed straight to authority, whoever they were cast onto. This, as the brothers had saw, was Ironside. The stallion ran a hoof from his arm, smooth black, comb mane, as he entered the war room. The unicorns following him were both mares, brown in coat. Each had an entrancing glance of sea of purple, the hues of their eyes, as leading one to assume they were twins. When newcomers arrived, they all took their respective seats around the table. Neil and Am had the unfortunate disposition of sitting across General Ironside, who stared directly at them.
Good morning, everyone.
Ironside's voice was heavy and virile, like the embodiment of power himself.
I hope you are all doing well.
He nodded once to the twin officers seated to his right. From out of the pocket of her breast, the mare hovered a folded a piece of paper on the table, a failure in the tiny white scare. She levitated the tip of a pencil at the left corner in a faint magenta aura of her magic. Ironside turned his attention to his brothers with a smile.
It's good to see you again. Last I heard, you weren't part of the coalition anymore.
The cold stiffness of embarrassment locked the brothers' backs, as rolling shield coursed briskly through them, setting their hairs on end, ultimately leaving them speechless. He leaned over intently at the table, confining a smile to a smirk.
I see you two kept the dusters. That's coalition property, you know.
But we're not here to discuss such matters, Delia interrupted. We're here to discuss Iron Hammer. Recalling himself back,
Ironside cleared his throat. Of course. Now, Neo, it's imperative you provide anything you know.
Ironside began.
If anyone at this table has any more information they are willing to share, please do so.
Ironside rose his voice for all to hear.
All I can say is this. What we know so far is that Iron Hammer is in the Dark Mines. What Iron Hammer is and what it does eludes us. More importantly, how long it is until it's completed remains a mystery.
Adam was the first to speak up. We found a map of the Dark Mines at the border. It details the entire elaborate system of tunnels, though no one specific place is marked. I'm sure you'll be able to make something out of it.
We know what it's supposed to do, Neo added. It's an ICBM,
Meant to kill everything even slightly affected by the taint.
Neo's eyes scanned those around the table.
My guess is that all of us at one point been exposed to it. That must mean everyone else in the province will be affected by the weapon.
Are you aware of how an ICBM is supposed to accomplish such a fate?
Ironside asked.
In our efforts to find out how it works, what we found is rocks.
Subject powered the weapon, Al responded.
Ironside's voice revved while he lay back in the chair. How close are they to completing it?
Both brothers looked at each other for a moment. Then returning to General, they shrugged, shaking their heads.
Ironside tapped a hoof to his chin. What are the numbers at the mines? How many Legion soldiers are stationed there?
Allie spoke up. We're not sure, General. Hundreds, thousands, maybe? That doesn't even include the Dark Miners. Couldn't even see what their numbers are.
It's clear we'll need to stage an assault in Dark Mines, Ironside remarked. The sooner we can muster our forces together and seize Ironhammer, the better.
Seize? Adam under his breath, squinting at Ironside. Seize it? Blinking at Neo, Ironside's words slurred, as though his statement had probably conveyed.
Yes, of course. We need to take it for the coalition.
We need to destroy it, Neo asserted, as soon as possible. Fire crept up Neo's chest, burning away the sleep deprivation. If it exists, it can still be used to kill. It doesn't matter if we have it or the Legion does. One of the officer bears swiftly rose to her seat, ejecting the chair behind her. What's your tongue, boy? That is a general you are speaking to. Lucy, too, forcibly pushed her chair, rising in retaliation against the mayor. He's right! I've worked for the Coalition for years, and never once has it been in our intention to take that weapon as our own! A hectic battle broke out between the officers and Lucy. Neo threw in his own snarling thoughts in the matter, effectively expressing his disdain against keeping the weapon. The argument was like missiles, violently being tossed through a throw, no clear end in sight. Dahlia and Ronan tried to speak over the shouting, so their voices were easily lost in the battle. Vladimir watched the entire ordeal unravel before him. Inside his mind, he could not hear what side fought for what. The sounds of the world came in as soft hums, like a gentle tapping on a grand percussion drum. His legs went numb as the trembling shimmied down to his forehoofs. He looked down on one hoof, to tremor so profound he felt the blood slush around inside. In his ear, the creature's cooed, gesticulate, sour serpent-like voice that irritated the sight of his thought a snake tongue squirmed within him. Does it not sound beautiful, little red? Vladimir could not speak. Oh, how little do they know the Legion. Our Legion. When the coalition arrives, only to be greeted by our forces will they truly be destroyed. Can you sense it? The end. How it grows ever closer. Like the tide ready to snare those ignorant of its advance. The dizzy body quivered with traceable glee. Oh, how can I taste it? I can feel it. So now, so soon. Vladimir looked up, to return to the racing congregation blasting forth amongst the ponies at the table. Out of the corner of his bloodshot eye, he spied a transparent beast sitting in midair, cackling at the fighting. The longer he stared at the bickering ponies, the less chaotic it became. Eventually, the fires of debate were quelled, and the exchange of hateful remarks subsided. Everyone was panting, as the constant arguing had taken much of their strength. Dahlia adjusted her hoof to her empty seat beside her, calmly and taking deep breaths as she shook. Now, everyone, please sit. Let us handle the task at hoof, please. Once everyone was seated in silence, Dahlia asked, Is there any more information that needs to be shared? Any at all? The creature threw back his head and laughed. Ha! There is nothing more. You think you have what you need? Fools, all of you. We need a single gem left. Only one. You've lost. Now we're back on topic. He said, mostly to Vladimir. Ranger has important information. All eyes fed to Vladimir, some prying, some worried, all strongly holding on, and him alone. The creature found this incredibly amusing. Think they'll get something out of us? It scoffed before developing a low chortle. Really? What could we have? The Spencer's ears sprung erect, and slid to Vladimir's side, clapping a lanky, transparent hoof over his shoulder. Tell them anything. You know. Make it up. Doesn't matter what you say. Hell, you can tell them that the Legion needs the moon to make the weapon work. They'll believe you. A warm bubbling collected in the bottom of Vladimir's gut, building greater and greater intensity. Slowly crawling up his breath, steadily arose, gathering pressure like a bomb ready to burst. Releasing its gathering might, Vladimir exclaimed as loud as his lungs would permit. They only need one sun gem left before they finish Ironhammer. The boisterous laughter of the creature was brought to an immediate halt. There it hovered, head thrown back in mid-cackle, yet no sound came from it. The eyes of those around the table widened, like bulging out of their sockets. Vladimir was suffering now, feeling a straining might anchor his body downlift. Quickly the apparition seized in front of him, pressing its down against Vladimir's face. What have you done? What have you done? Seizing Vladimir by the head, plus his frisky nose hold her against him. What have you done? Lucy removed her fedora, placing it over her heart. Ranger, I didn't think you were anywhere that close.
That's not all.
All the information was picked on. Well,
Speak up!
Ironsides requested sternly. The creature flew backwards, closing its head, floating its body sporadically. No, 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 no! A smile came to Vladimir's face.
One last thing I have to say.
Sobbing to frantic convulsing, the spectre flung forward, locking his reddened and fleeing eyes on Vladimir. No, no, no! You won't ruin this for me! Vladimir's pupil contracted as he hurried.
My name is...
Swimming towards him, the creature hovered towards him. Facing its icy host to the side of his head, Vladimir froze, his entire body hardening. Every muscle, nerve, solid. Feeling of hot coals pointed at the bottom of his lungs seared. His brain went numb. Whilst a new, profuse stream of blood ran down his nose. One of his toes deeply embedded Vladimir's cranium. His side before an airy giggle rolled out its mouth. Almost blew our cover, little rat. However, after those little plants, can't allow you to be in control much longer. Vladimir's mouth was agape in mid-sentence. The only noise the Legion Emperor could utter was a throaty wheeze. He placed his lips by Vladimir's ear, whispering sweetly, Oh, my little rat, don't be frightened. When I let go, you shall fall. All the world will become dark. When you awake, I'll be in control. Just like old times, my friend. Just like old times. As he Vladimir, the creature vanished into the air. Vladimir's entire body went numb. As he swayed one way, then the next, till altogether he drifted to a single side. The world moved slowly, falling, falling. The ground gradually came to his side, though he did not feel the impact. A ring of darkness surrounded his vision, but there was no fight to be had with his body. In the shrinking field of view of Vladimir, watched those whom he spoke about rush around him, their cries of panic lost in silence, leaving merely the wordless movement of his companion's lips. When the soldier was consumed by darkness, he felt a pleasant temperate heat drape over his shoulders. It was comforting, like a blanket warmed by a slow burning fire. All over now. All he could do to stop the darkness from winning. Footnote. Level up. Get tight. Killing enemies in a row, 5 or more, stacks 15% more damage per kill. This perk allows one to stack the damage up after killing each kill 20 times. What are you waiting for? Get psyched. Footnote. Level up. New perk. I'm giving them back their bomb. When you throw grenades back at an enemy, you do 2 times the damage and have a chance to earn 3 times the XP if multiple kills are made with a return throw.